Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Hope you can hear me. I'm just going live here in my office. I have both these games on right now and just wanted to talk about it as we go through the game. Now, on this side, we have NC State at Syracuse. On this side, we have Tennessee and Alabama. Please forgive my my poor camera angle at times. If there's any, I see a few people is joining me right now. Can you hear me well? This is, by the way, this is the first time I've done this, so this is really laid back and chill. I'll turn this off. Hey, Tiger Red Devil, can you hear me? Hear you just fine. Thanks, Christopher. I'm going to go grab my cell phone. I know I'm going to be texting a few of my Bobby Durkins and not Bobby Durkins friends while I'm watching this. Right now, Alabama really has their hands full in this game. Just quite honestly, I have not seen Alabama played like this in a regular season game in quite a while. NC State, on the other hand, is quite interesting. I would give you my opinion on this one. Is that I know that Tennessee they've played really, really well, but they cannot take their foot off the gas. They have to put this game away. Like this drive right here. I know it's 1st and 15. You can't. That was almost an interception. You can't have that happen. Y'all watch the games and commercials, and I will be right back. Pull this up there so you can see it. This is very interesting. Very much an interesting game. Hope everybody's having a really good Saturday. We saw Coastal Carolina absolutely got their head tore off. And that was interesting. Kind of fun fact, my oldest, I call him Bobby Durkins Jr. on the Bobby Durkins channel, but he is a big Coastal Carolina fan. I've taken him down to a few games. That's a good first down for Tennessee. But I've taken him down to a few games, and I really like Coastal Carolina. I know that their school is small, but there's something that's really really enjoyable about it. We went to the Army game at the beginning of the year. We also went to the game at Georgia State out in Atlanta this year, and then last year we were at the Buffalo game. And it's just a really cool. It's a cool place. I like it. But their defense is absolutely terrible. And I kept waiting for it to finally haunt them, finally get them, this season because you just can't continuously play bad defense. Now, I know if you're a Coastal fan out there, you're like, well, hold on. One of the leaders, if not the leaders in the nation for takeaways. That's fantastic. But, you can't give up chunks of yardage and not expect it to affect you. And they got hammered today. Oklahoma came back, won against Kansas. That was really interesting. Over here, Syracuse has the lead 10-3. That screen's been acting kind of funny. It's an older screen. I don't think that its software really matches up with this new computer. This is a new screen. But I can tell you this, that if you're Tennessee right now, every time you come out onto the field, you need to put up at least 3 points. And I know that's a tall order. Chase, can you not hear me? Yeah, y'all just threw me there. I have the Henderson sisters in here, Parker and Chase. Parker and Chase is in here. You know what? For two Georgia boys, they're really good people. No, they're big Clemson fans. Don't be fooled. They're really good people. They don't like Georgia fans either. Everybody, thanks for hopping in here. I just thought I would turn on my two work screens and just put the games on side by side and just talk about it. It doesn't matter if you can see me. Who cares about me? Tonight's a big night for Clemson, of course, going down to Florida State. The spread is bumped up to about 4.5 points. I know that that's not a gargantuan move, but that means something has changed on a little bit on the Vegas side. Not that big of a deal, I guess. Illinois, they won today. That was an interesting win against Minnesota. PJ Fleck, I thought that he was going to be much better than what he was, and I know a lot of people could say, well, he's up at Minnesota, but I feel like that he has been wishy-washy when it comes to his team's just his team's consistency. Oklahoma State and TCU, interesting game. Even though I'm not a Tennessee fan, that's a beautiful sight right there. That is really, really a beautiful sight. I know that Knoxville is rocking right now. If anybody in here loves steaks and you want a really good steak, and I'm talking about a good steak. I'm not talking about going over to your one of those chain steak houses that is okay, and they overcharge you for a subpar steak. If you really want a good steak, go to Knoxville to a place called Ye Old Steakhouse. Look at that. Oh, my God. Woo! Wow. Holy crap. Let me tell you this. I like that call. They were really in no man's land. If you punt, you really don't gain that much. If you kick a field goal, unless you have somebody like, Mason Crosby kicking for you or Tuck, you're not going to hit that kick. They went for it. They're telling Bama, we don't respect your safeties. Had the ball been hung up just a little bit longer, you would have seen a touchdown there. Now, here's what Tennessee can't do. In 2 minutes and 44 seconds, they can't allow a touchdown. They can't. There's Georgia beating up on Vandy right now. That's interesting. Like that. You can't be slipping tackles and stuff. And watch out for the penalties. Holy crap, what a circus catch. Look at that. This is big for the ACC because whoever wins this game, if Clemson wins tonight, and I think they will, if they win tonight, he threw a pick. If Clemson wins tonight, the conference, the division basically comes down to Syracuse and Clemson. And you know that. So it's kind of interesting. They're moving the ball just a little too fast for my liking. Now, if you're a Bama fan, obviously you're concerned, but you like to see them move the ball down the field. Yeah, they're moving the ball at will now. Bama is moving the flipping ball at will. Yeah, Chase, I saw where Leary is out for the rest of the season. That's definitely going to change. That's going to change the trajectory for NC State. And what does it say about the backup? Because correct me if I'm wrong, the backup for NC State is from Georgia Southern, transferred in. And they're still giving Syracuse a lot of problems. Look at that. He has all the time in the world, y'all. Look at that. Still throws it away. I'm telling you, the coverage by Tennessee in the secondary is spot on. This is some good stuff here. It's odd seeing Schrader playing for Syracuse and then seeing Tommy DeVito, who was the starting man there for a while. Woo, you are right. He got laid out, son. This is really bad for my attention span. I admit it. He got leveled. What I'm saying is really odd seeing Tommy DeVito leave Syracuse and go play for this is like it on the Addams Family. It's really odd to see him playing for Illinois. It's almost like, dude, so the only prerequisite for you to go play for a team is if their colors are orange and this navy blue, which I know Syracuse fans or maybe Fighting Illini fans, they're screaming out, it's a different orange. Folks, I'm sorry, unless you're part of the fan base, none of us cares. We just see orange and like a navy blue. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. That, folks, I'm going to flip this around to me. I'm going to do work on some stuff real quick while I'm talking to you. Changing a few things up here. I hope everyone's Saturday's going good. I had a pretty good Saturday. I did some grilling, grilled out some burgers. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, they are reviewing that for targeting. You are right, 100%. I still think targeting. I think targeting as well as roughing the passer. I know roughing the passer more the issues that they're dealing with right now. That was the side of the helmet. That's going to be interesting if they toss him, because the new rule says the full crown of the helmet. That's the side. That's more of the side of the helmet. Now, if you're a Bama fan, you're screaming, you Clemson idiot. That's targeting. Now, I don't have the sound up, so if they've went ahead and made the call and said he's gone, let's see what he says. I'm trying to read his lips. Okay, they returned it. Good. Good. That's a good deal. I can take that. I can live with that. Using a helmet to punish a player, that was called spearing for many years. So that's nothing new. But they really got into the helmet touching somebody and certain launches and etc. And we need to take care of players. We don't want anyone getting hurt. At the same time, if someone's helmet is popping another guy's helmet, it's not targeting, folks. Look at that delayed handoff. Whoa, what tackling. And think about it. That guy right there, which it was Jahmyr Gibbs, he was playing at Georgia Tech last year. Georgia Tech, you had that guy on your team. Now, I know he got stopped right here, but he's a freak athlete. We've already seen what incredible things that he's done. So for any Georgia Tech fans who's out there going, you wait till we get some good players, you had an amazing player on your team, and you still sucked. I know it takes more than one player, but come on. Really, let's see what happens here. 3rd and 15. He's going up top. Yeah. Did he catch that? They'll review that. Let's see. He trapped it. Yeah, that's incomplete. Good job. Good job. That young man right there will be an accountant one day. If he's not an accountant, he's missing his calling. All right. Don't put the ball up. He hit it. And you also found a few loopholes for your taxes too. So halftime of this game, going to be halftime in just a second. I'll be interested to see what Heupel decides to do. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, he is just, he doesn't want mistakes right before the half and make the game look much closer than what it really is. And he'll probably take a knee. He'll probably take it at halftime. But at the same time, I would not be shocked if he threw the ball downfield a couple of times. I'll give you some couple of scores that I have here. I can tell you some scores if you haven't really paid attention, or maybe you just turned me on, you're listening for a second. The basement of the Pac-10 is playing right now. California and Colorado, they're tied in overtime at 13. Georgia at halftime has 28-0 lead over Vanderbilt. Shocker. Oklahoma State has a lead at halftime 24-13 over TCU. BYU is losing by 10 right before the end. Well, basically at the half to Arkansas. James Madison 17-14 right now over Georgia Southern. How interesting is it going to be if James Madison ends up winning the Sun Belt and this is their first year in Sun Belt? That would be interesting. Chase says that he's calling that USC gets beat by Utah today. Just to tell you this, in my father-in-law, he started a pick'em just amongst like me and my brother-in-law and my son and another family member. And so my son is in charge of putting together the list of who we're picking and all this bunch of stuff. I actually picked Utah to beat USC. There's something about USC that says that they're definitely a lot better than they have been, but I just don't see them. I just don't see them being something. Look at this. Heupel is throwing the ball, and I almost got picked off. They called a timeout, it looks like. Did they call a timeout? Look how close this ball was. Oh, almost picked up. Oh, my Lord. Makes my stomach drop like I'm on a roller coaster or something. Hey, if you're watching this, whether it's in the future or whether it's right now and you're not subscribed to this channel, just hit the subscribe button. It's easy. It's cheap. What I mean by cheap, it's costs nothing. And hit the thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. Now, living in the Greenville, South Carolina area, Knoxville is not in my backyard. It's still about 3 hours from me, but Knoxville it's in driving distance, And when you get into Western North Carolina, you really start to see a ton of Tennessee. And when I say Western North Carolina, I know some people's like, well, obviously, you get up near the state line. Joe Milton's going to wind up, throw it up. Oh, my God. What is this going to be like? Oh, you almost caught it. Oh, man. That's awesome. That is flipping awesome. Miami over here giving VT again. This team right here really let me down this year. I know it's Cristobal's first year, but man, they were doing so much better. I have no clue what happened right there. I think the Matrix started. But this team right here, man, holy crap. I think Cristobal really has to get rid of a lot of the poor mentality that's at Miami. And when you talk to, let me tell you this, I've been doing the whole Bobby Durkins thing now for about 6 years. And I've said this several times. That you can tell he's thrilled. But I have been doing the whole Durkins thing for a while, and I can tell you that from talking to Miami fans, a lot of Miami fans take pride in that Miami persona, and I get it because Miami has won has won they've won a lot of championships. They've produced some of the best players to ever walk on the field. A lot of people says that the 2001 team was the greatest team to ever play college football, one of the greatest teams in sports. And I get it. I do understand that. But when you step back and say, I mean, you take in consideration that the program has been penalized, the program has almost suffered the death penalty in college football for their off the field tactics, which, by the way, it's not like, oh, we paid somebody whose family didn't have enough money to eat. No, we're talking about prostitution, drug abuse, possible murder, rape. I say this all the time in my videos. I love college football, which I know football's not on right now. It's some guy with the ukulele, but I love college football. Like I'm a card carrying Southern male. Okay, I love college football like you would not believe. If I could be at a game throughout the country anytime during the year, anywhere in the country, no matter how much it cost, I would be there. Unless I was like, unable to go because I was sick or something. But I love it. But at the end of the day, it's a flipping game. Okay? It's a flipping game. You shouldn't be covering up rape because you want one of your starters to be able to play. You shouldn't be taking your kids out on a boat with prostitutes and all this. I mean, all this other crappy stuff that's went on. And I'll tell you this, I love Clemson, but if it came out today that Dabo Swinney was covering up rape on our team, or child molestation or murder or something like that, I'm going to tell you right now, football is going to be the last of my worries. And I know that some Miami fans, they're like, well, you don't understand. Yeah, you're doggone straight. I don't understand how you want that type of crap to be swept under the rugs, and you can't give me a bunch of crap of you don't know where these players come from. Look, if you come from where it's okay to rape somebody, you don't need to be championing that. And so I really think that Cristobal has a lot to deal with, but I think that he is the one to deal with it. And it made me feel good when he said, "Get rid of the chain." There's so much that was wrong there, and yeah, this guy right here, Hendon Hooker. Think about it. This cat was playing for VT. He's playing for VT. He was, it wasn't having the best go of it. What a pass! Look at that, just zipping the ball. I love that play call. I love that flipping play call. But he leaves VT, and it's just like, I mean, VT is just, man, they're just a mess. They are a mess. I think they had one good year with Fuente. Tiger Red Devil says Clemson completely healthy tonight. I think we're pretty close to being almost completely healthy. You never really know. Just because someone plays, you never know if they're, a person's 85% okay. Somebody's 80% or below. What part of the game is that going to affect them in? Is it going to affect them in the way to be able to plant their foot and make the cut if they're a back, or run down someone? Is it going to take a step away, from them? Georgia's an interesting team because they lost a lot of people, and I'm going to tell you, if Tennessee ends up, I'm doing my cousin it from Adam's Family again with my hands. If Tennessee wins this game, it's obvious to say that the East comes down to Tennessee and Georgia. And if Heupel does it in his second year, holy crap. I mean, come on, man. Looking back here, got Tiger Nation. Y'all, Tiger Nation, one of the Bobby Durkin's OGs coming in here. What is up, man? Hadn't seen you for a while. A lot of people doesn't know this. Tiger Nation lives about 30 to 35 minutes north of where I live. I just put it that way for both our protection. Glad to see you, dude. I've hung out with Tiger Nation, of course. Hung out with him multiple times. The Henderson sisters, I've had the honor of hanging out with them this season. The last one I saw it, though, was Parker. I hung out with Parker. He went with me and my oldest to the Coastal Carolina at Georgia State game about 2 or 3 weeks ago. He lives there in the Atlanta area. So, and so he came out. Chase ditched us. He claimed that he had to go to some, but I know the real story. It was bingo night at the old folks' home. He wanted to defend his honor and his win streak against Edna. You can't fool me, dude. You can't fool me. Tiger Red Devil, you said, is Michigan for real? I hate to say this like this because Clemson has had to go through the same thing because the ACC is not really that tough, but just being a realist, I would say they're just going to have to win out to prove it. It's kind of hard. And it's kind of like when you look at Clemson. When you look at their schedule, you look at who they have to play, and you look at who's on the field. And I do think you're right, Tiger Red Devil, that Sheridan Jones is the only one that's questionable. But there's no reason why Clemson should lose a game for the rest of the season. Listen to me. I'm not saying the upsets doesn't happen. I'm just saying on paper, and I know the game is not played on paper, but I'm saying with their talent versus who they're going to play, you can't take it lightly. I think that's the reason that the line is so low for Clemson. Is they believe that people in Vegas believe that Clemson is going to take this game lightly and that this is the Super Bowl for Florida State. They had 2 consecutive losses. They believe that they're actually going to be a problem, because Clemson's just not going to take them serious, But if Clemson takes every team serious, goes out there, they stay healthy, stay out of trouble, take care of the football, they win the rest of the games. They go to Charlotte and win the ACC championship and go to the playoff. Michigan will have to do that for me, but I really don't know how we could say that Michigan is for real versus who they lost, like Aiden Hutchinson, some of those players that are gone, and then they supposedly are better this year. Now, do I think that they're more consistent than what they have been in recent years with Harbaugh? Yeah, I do. I think this is the most consistent Michigan team that you've seen in quite a while. At the same time, the Big Ten's not that great. Chase is poking fun at me. I know. I know. Talk about ditching, and I know you said I'm just kidding. I hated to do that. So let me tell you this, folks. Chase offered me a ticket to a game, an incredible game, to a Clemson game. All right. And I told him I basically was going to do it. And then I had just been feeling weird, and it just kept getting worse. And I had to tell him, dude, I can't do it because I'm going to be a wet blanket. And so he's just picking at me. But Chase is definitely picking at me. But he is right. I hated to miss that game. Dadgummit, I hated to miss that game. Tiger Nation, where are you watching the game tonight? Are you going to be at your house, or are you going to go out there in the general area and mingle with the ladies? Or, what are you doing? I'm having to read my comments sideways, so. Let me see. I'm going to try to do this where I want. Let me see. Chase says, I think if this was Clemson last year versus FSU, this year may be a good chance of an upset. But the growth by DJ and the O-line since last year says this game is going to be tough early. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. A shameless plug for a video that I did this week. It was basically the state of Clemson football at the midseason point. They're 6-0 and so on. And I talked about the growth that Clemson's experiencing at this point. And I know that there are some teams that are just so good, so experienced that from day one, they're just knocking the ball out of the park. I mean, they look like they're in midseason form and so on. But I mean, in most scenarios, Clemson, or not Clemson, but football teams, they have to grow throughout the season. And what's sad is when you start the season off, strong, and then you hit a lull, and then you really don't see growth. And then you're shocked when you go to maybe a conference championship and you get your tail whipped, or maybe you get into, who does this sound like, Clemson, the college football playoff, and there really hasn't been any real hunger. And a lot of Clemson fans really don't like me when I say this, but those last 2 years that Trevor was here, Clemson's team was so good, but they lacked hunger. They lacked drive. They lacked whatever the word is that they could go out and just seem lackadaisical at times. And it's just it's nice to see Clemson have the hunger back. Clemson has hunger right now, and they're growing. They are flipping growing day in, day out. They're growing. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy with their growth. DJ looks incredible. I think some of you may be ahead of me. I don't know. Interesting fact, you have the Carrier Dome. Talking about Carrier air systems, all right? Air conditioning systems, HVAC. The Carrier Dome has not had air conditioning in, well, I think ever, and they finally just got it. So I want you to think about that irony. Just got a question. Hey, what's going on, Daryl? We will pull away in the second half. We just too deep. I think that you're going to see Florida State play us really, really tough in the first half, and I think we wear them down. I definitely agree with that. We'll definitely do that. I'm telling you, this is an old screen, but I'm trying to get my company to send me another one. This is my screen. This is the company screen. Just throw that out there. Hey, if they'll send it, I'll ask for it. That's just kind of how that works. If DJ stays next year, does Cade transfer? Tiger Red Devil. I think that, first of all, I think that DJ needs to come back next year. I really do. I think for his draft stock, he needs to. The thing is, oh my God, that could have been bad in so many different ways. Now, to answer that question, I think DJ needs to come back, and I think the question to Cade needs to be, hey man, hey, do you want to be part of something special, or do you want to transfer to somewhere else that wasn't that special to you when you were being recruited? Did you just come to Clemson because you thought DJ was not going to get better? And folks, I said this on my video I did this week, and I'm going to say it again. One of the reasons I had little faith in DJ coming into this season is because I've been watching football for 30 years. Some of you you've been watching it much longer than that. But I want you to ask yourself, and I want you to be honest. I want you to be honest. Don't lie to me. How many really great athletes have you seen go into a slump and then they come out of it? Athletes much greater than him. I've seen a lot of those athletes go into a slump for what reason, whatever it may be, and they never come out of it. So history was definitely against him. And last year was just plain awful. I know stuff going on off the field, health problems, blah, 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 blah. I mean, look how it's hampered XT. But DJ has really done well and taken off, and I'm glad. I just think that he would be better off to stay one more year, go out, get more numbers under him, unless his draft stock is just going to be like outrageously through the roof. But I would look at Cade and I would say, Cade, if he was thinking that he wanted to transfer, did you transfer in just because you thought DJ was going to do that bad? I mean, put it where it's at. Like Quinn Ewers going up to Ohio State. Did you think that just because there's so much hype behind you, very talented, I mean, he's a ridiculous talent, but you thought that you were going to go into Ohio State, they were going to be like, hey, man, we got somebody out of Texas, let's play him now. And then C.J. Stroud comes out and starts balling. And then what does he do? He transfers out. What did you transfer here because you believe in the program and you want to be a part of something special, or did you transfer in, or not transfer, but did you sign and come into the program just because you thought that this is going to be an easy takeaway? Because if that's the case, this is another situation. I think that Cade actually believes in Clemson. I think he really likes Sweeney. I think he really likes the atmosphere. And you know what? Here's the deal. Some people sit and wait. Very few of them do anymore. And there's a part of me that don't blame them, because this is a business. I mean, notice during these games right here, commercial. This is how they make money, okay? That's just business, and I'm not bad about that. But what I'm saying is, this is a lot of, there's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot at stake for these young men. And if my son, if he told me, hey, Dad, I feel like I need to transfer out, he and I are going to have a talk about why. And ultimately, it's his decision. At the same time, I'm going to grill him to make sure he has the right intentions and that he understands reality. Because just because you transfer somewhere doesn't mean that, the grass is always greener on the other side. Sometimes the grass is greener on the other side. Sometimes you have to, I know there's so many of these little sayings we have, but sometimes the grass is actually greener on the other side. I'm not going to say that it's not. I think that's stupid to say that it's not. But there's a lot of times we get a facade in our head. And my question to Cade, if he wanted to transfer, is if those other places were so special, why didn't you go there in the first place? But I think he likes Clemson and he's going to stay. And I think it would be good for him to get more even acclimated to the play call. Think about this. He would be sitting there, unless Streeter left, he would be sitting there with a lot of experience and then come in and take over. Man, you thought he was good. He could be good. Man, he'd be even, he'd be incredible. Danny D-Rock Mahaffey, what's up, dude? Sup, Brian? Let's go Tigers. Yeah, let's go Tigers. I'm looking forward to that game. I was talking a little earlier about a steakhouse. If you go in the Knoxville area, go to Ye Old Steakhouse. Go Google it. Their menu is extremely simple, and their website is extremely underwhelming. You can go in there in shirts and a t-shirt, or shorts and a t-shirt, shirts and a t-shirt. What's wrong with me? Shorts and a t-shirt. And it's a lot of fun. But the food is good. They've been rated one of the top steakhouses in the country, including the big boys in New York and in California. The good news is you don't have to go to New York or California to have that food. So there's that too. I'll leave the rest of those comments to myself. Look at that protection. I like how Tennessee is going after them. They're looking at Alabama and they respect that Alabama is talented, but they're not scared of them. Respect and scared is not even two different things. It's a world apart. I'm really excited to see them hopefully be coming back for football. Look at that. Pulls up. Look at that. Running the football. Outrunning a former teammate. If you talk to Tennessee fans, they hate To'oTo'o. Hate him. I think he was receiving some payment. Now, this excites me. Let me tell you why this excites me. 3rd down and 1, and he gets up under center and he falls forward. Let me tell you why I'm happy about that. Is because I am so sick and flipping tired at 3rd down and half a yard, they line up like that. So many teams do that. And it's not like some, it's a lot. Woo! Look at that. What a flipping play. Man, I love that. Over here on the Syracuse game, NC State's hanging around a little too much. And if I'm Syracuse, I'm sitting there going, hold on, if we're not having to play Leary, what's our big deal? Now, once again, you could say, in Chambers, they don't have film on him, I get that. But in my opinion, they have to score here. Tennessee has to score here. And I'm not talking about a field goal. They need a touchdown here. Because you mark my word, what time is it? 5:50 Eastern Standard Time. That if Tennessee does not score here, at least a field goal, but preferably a touchdown, that first half will be a memory. We'll be looking back when Bama wins and goes, do you remember? That's just how football is, y'all. That's football. I don't care who you're playing. I don't care if you're the underdog or if you're the favorite. Look at that. Going up top. Holy snotty, overthrew him. Oh, my God. I think what happened was he might have got jammed at the line a little bit. Let's see the replay. Let's see if they'll show that replay. Did he get jammed at the line? Oh, yeah. He shoved him. I don't want knick-knacky calls. I will tell you that. I don't want that. But if you shove me in the back, even if I'm running, you would think that would shove you forward to move faster, but it actually throws you off balance. You can't run as well. This is going to be interesting. What's the call here? Offside. Oh, look at that. Repeat 3rd down. Well, the good thing with Tennessee, and you have to think about this, good thing with Tennessee is that that they can throw the ball downfield. That it's not one of these deals where they line up and they, they're more of a run team. 3rd down and 8, though you don't want that, is more manageable. Look at that. Nick Saban has to be puking on the sideline. Just word vomiting everything that's going on over there. Look at that. They're going for it. I like this. I like this. I like this. Are they going to try to draw him off sides? Or are they going to run play? They're running the play. Throws it out. Oh, big man. Oh, he got oh, man. Wow. What happened? They're acting as though he got what's going on here? Now I know that line on the field is not legitimate, that it's just roundabout the general area so the viewer at home can see it. What? Holy crap. Dude, I don't know how I was behind back here. Thanks, Chase. I didn't know I was that far behind. I'd hit join live. I don't know what happened here. Update your queue string. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Tennessee didn't score there. Why are they still talking? Remember, I don't have the sound up, or else I would get like a copyright strike. That's why I turned off the sound. Okay, I guess they're reviewing the spot of the ball. I guess that's it. Chase, thanks. I just saw where you text me. Let's make sure it's not lagging over here again. So far, so good, but golly, that's annoying. I hate that stuff, man. That's awesome. That is awesome. Anybody who's joined, I see we have a few more people who's joined in here. I'm just doing a chill live stream talking about the game. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, Not Bobby Durkins, it'd be free. It would be different if I was asking you to pay to subscribe, but subscribing is free. So just hit the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up. Tell everybody else. Tell everyone else about my channel, and I do appreciate it. They are reviewing, checking to make sure it was fourth down. Folks, I'm going to tell you, some of you know this because, we've been hanging out, we're friends and so on. For those of you who don't personally know me, I was a high school basketball official. It was a long time ago. But I was an official in the high school league for 11 years. I did some football. But so officiating is very difficult. I'm very careful with what I say about the officials. I'm also the guy who's kind of sitting in the stands quietly while everybody else is losing their mind saying, hey, that was a bad call. And I'm like, it was what it was. It just hurts, And then it comes out, you see the replay, and it proves that it was what it was. But I am going to tell you, these guys here are paid a lot of money to call this ball game. They're paid these guys over here are paid really well to call this ball game. But these guys right here, this is the top game in the country. It's a top SEC matchup, has national championship implications. I know these guys here are just part of the sideline crew, so on. But the officials, these guys right here, are paid outrageous money to call this college football game. They're not given $100 and a pat on the back. Okay. With that said, if they didn't know what down a football that it was, if that is what it is, that is the dumbest thing that I've heard in quite a while. Oh, I did. Yes, Chase, I did yell at those officials in the La Tech game because it was stupid. I was losing it. I didn't say I never say anything. But I did lose it, my friend, in that game. That's some of the worst officiating I've seen in quite a while. Because here's the thing about officiating. You early on, you set the precedence of what you're going to call and when you're going to call. You just can't get down to the end of the game and say, "Oh, it's a close ball game" or whatever, and we're going to change. We're going to change up things. Folks, I don't care that those signs said there it was third down. Everybody watching this and in that stadium knew it was fourth down. Both those coaches knew it was fourth down. That the people who is in charge of ensuring that the games is operated by the rules did not know that it was fourth down. And a game of this magnitude scares the crap out of me. Chase, now you've got me like gun shy. I'm afraid I'm checking the game to make sure that, I'm not behind or anything. Yeah, the NC State game had pretty bad officiating. It was really tough. I can also tell you this too, from being a former official, and I was scouted for some small college stuff and so on. So I was serious about it. Look at that! Oh my God, it's a catch! It's a catch! I know you got to get in there and try to fight, but he caught it. Even the blind kid that was rolling in there saw that, my friend. Jay Varner's in here. Exactly. We know calls are subjective. It just needs to be consistent in the game. Yeah, you do. Yeah. Oh, my God. Look at that. See? See what I said? Look at that. So if you just turned on this game, let's say in 2 minutes when it's 28, 26, 28, 28, because they're probably going to go for two. Whatever. Let's just say you turned on the game. You would not know that you would never know that Tennessee has dominated the way they have. That's what I'm saying. You can't stop playing the game. And when people says, "Oh, that's a tall order," yeah, it's a tall order to beat them. I know Georgia's flying high, but I'm just going to tell you straight up, they have not been consistent enough to beat them. Georgia hasn't. Clemson's been more consistent to beat them. These guys, God help them, hadn't beat them in 15 years. I'll be 40 in the next couple of weeks. Look at that. Look at that. See, what did I say just a second ago? Mark the time when I say that this is going to cost them big time. Young lady, that's the face that most fans has had when playing Bama, and they were up by a lot of points, and then blew it. Now, Jay, going back to that, I'll tell you this: when I was officiating, we'd have a pregame just like a football team would have a pregame, and we would talk about the tendencies, especially if we knew the teams, their tendencies, the type of offenses and defenses that they ran. If the schools had a poor history, like if they'd had fights and all that bunch of crap in the past, or even obviously most recently, we talked about it. Because you had to go out there. You didn't want to anticipate something to where you were just almost looking for it to happen and began to see something that was not there. But you did walk out. You did walk out onto the court being aware. So what I would do is I would walk out. I'd walk out on the court, and if it was a game to where they couldn't play physical without getting in a fight, you try to back them off. You try to set it up right off the bat. But I always loved calling for teams that they were extremely physical, and they didn't want you to call fouls that you would normally call on other teams. What I mean by that is, like, when someone's shooting, if they got touched, I hate that stuff in the NBA. I just absolutely hate it. These guys are bigger than ever, faster, stronger, faster than ever. And they're getting knick-knacky fouls to protect the players, which we see how that's working in the NFL. I mean, it's just messed up everything. But in when you're officiating, you walk out on the floor or on the field, you set that precedence, and it just drives me nuts to see this back and forth stuff. I'm glad that we have replay, but I'm telling you, replay has slowed down the game, and I think replay has caused a hesitation in some officiating crews, and it's hurt the game. I mean, that's just it, plain and simple. I see a few more has joined the live stream. Thank you so much for joining me. I just got the NC State game on over here. Obviously got the Alabama-Tennessee game. It's now knotted up to 28, 11 minutes left in the third quarter. So if you're brand new here, thanks for joining me. If you're not subscribed, just hit the subscribe button. It's free. So hit the subscribe button and tell somebody who likes college football, or especially if they like either one of these teams, to turn this on and hang out with me for a little bit. I do appreciate it. Yeah, Jay, you do want to establish the tone. And if you see something that is actually going to be a problem, you want to address that early. But you can't go into at one part of the game just out of nowhere and start calling stuff that before that time you were not calling. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. Let me rephrase that. You can do it, and you'll need a police escort out of the gym or the field. And you darn well should. I was always kind of a realistic official. And there were some moments, I'm a human being, that I'd get irritated. Look at that. You have got to be kidding me. Whoa. Holy snot balls, Batman. Wow. Holy crap. That is crazy. Look at that. Look at that. Confusion. Seems like they're a little confused. Oh, I love that. He turned him around. Let me tell you, folks, there is beauty. There is beauty in running around. Oh my God, he missed it. You have got to be flipping kidding me. Does this not? So some of this stuff that's going on right now, does it not scream this is going to be a wild ending? And I'm going to tell you, look, I'm not an Alabama fan whatsoever. Trust me, I have said unimaginable things in my head against Alabama when we've had to play them. But I am just telling you, Alabama, these are the games they win. Then everybody comes away and goes, well, they should have lost, and they somehow win. You cannot miss field goals like that. Look at that, falling on his back and dumps the ball off. Wow. Hey, if this guy played for Georgia Southern and he's playing in this game, he's taken over and he's done, okay so far. I mean, that's impressive. I know that they're not winning, but it's not like the talent has dropped off so much. I mean, if it had, realistically, the score would be way different than 17-6, and that's been way closer than what everybody's been able to see. Got Chase Stacks in here. How's it going, Chase? Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, that ball was just like hand delivered through the air into his hands. Glad he didn't drop it. For anybody who's never drove past this stadium, you need to. Especially if you're in the South. You're within 3 hours or so of driving there. Go do it. It's a lot. It's a lot of fun, and that's really cool in there too. Also, if anybody's watching here and you're in, if you're in the Knoxville area and you go to Ye Olde Steakhouse and eat, tell them that you heard about Ye Olde Steakhouse from me. Tell them. I want them to know I'm talking about it. I went up there. My wife and I went up there and had an amazing dinner. And if you want, it's one of the best steaks I've ever had in my life. And I used to work fine dining, like the big boy fine dining. I've had $150 tomahawk steak, and I'm telling you, the food at Ye Olde Steakhouse, the steaks were incredible. Of course, Chase, I'm glad to give a shout out. I'm glad you're here. I know I've said this a couple of times, but hey, I keep saying it. If you're brand new here and you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribing is free. Just hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and pass it along to anybody who likes college football. This series and the next series, I think, for Tennessee offensively is going to be really big. Okay, I know that goes without saying. That's kind of a duh statement. I know, man. Look, way too much time. Good defense. I love that. Love that. I love they did not throw a flag on that. When you throw the ball up like that, and and I'm going to tell you this. I know that was really aggressive. I know that is really aggressive, but when you throw the ball almost like a punt, I think Bryce is maybe feeling it right now. But when you throw the ball up like that, I'm just going to tell you right now, y'all, that is almost like a punt. And it's anybody's ball. And I'm glad that he didn't throw a flag on that. Look at that. Look at that, man. Chase, yes, you have been following old Bobby Durkins. I do appreciate it. Yeah, they're playing a good game. Tennessee, let me tell you this. Tennessee, my brother-in-law, he graduated from Tennessee, and he and I were talking about the state of, Tennessee football. And I said this at the beginning of the season, and if you watch me on Durkins, or if you watch the new channel, Not Bobby Durkins, one of the major things that I talk about is if you're trying to rebuild a team, you have to win the games you're supposed to win the toss-ups. The games you don't supposed to win at all, you're supposed to play close. Play close, maybe even win one, but at least play close. Don't get blown out. Because listen to this. How do you get your team to believe that you're actually getting better? And I always use this as the benchmark statement, but when Tommy Bowden was at Clemson, I think it was 2005, we went down to Coral Gables, beat and they were still playing in Coral Gables at that time, but we went and beat a number 3 Miami team, and he missed him. I think Bryce Young is feeling it right now. But He thought he was going to curl in a little more. I thought he was going to, yeah. But what I was saying was Clemson goes up and beats Alabama, or not Alabama. They go and they beat Miami when they were still playing in Coral Gables. And then the very next week goes up to Durham and loses. How do you explain that to your team? And that was not a good Duke team, by the way. How do you explain that to recruits who you're trying to get in? You can't do that. What Tennessee's doing right here, Tennessee should win this ball game. I'm just going to tell you this. Get him. That he stopped like that. Oh, my God. Holy crap. I bet you the defensive coordinator for Tennessee is livid right now. I'm surprised there wasn't a hold on that play, too. They're just trying to inch down the field. Look at that. He just stops. And stand still, folks. Wow. Not a lot of quarterbacks can do what he just did. A lot of them, even if they would have gotten themselves stand back still, they would have thrown the ball high or something. Or thrown an errant pass. Woo! Oh my God, that was wow. What a play. Yeah, this is a game of inches, and look at this. Whoa. Hopefully my finger wasn't in the way. Yeah, he's a tough. Yeah, you're right, Chase. He is a tough player. Got a false start on Bama. Look at that. I'm telling you right now, Tennessee's playing some ball, man. A lot of people would let that guy slip through him, but that was a good tackle. What's happening over here? I thought he slid down, but he didn't. Tried to buy some time and, give him an E for effort. That really didn't work out that great. Yeah, Chase, I think that tonight it will be a night that Clemson will have to prove that they're focused. Because if they go out there and they're like, we're number 4 in the country, we've got basically all of our defense back, they'll lose the ball game. Now they shouldn't. I think that Florida State's going to play them really well because of everything that's went on. But let me tell you what else I think. I think that Florida State or that Clemson, if they went out there and they bring their A game, they're focused, and they just play good fundamental football, and they just take it to Florida State, kind of like Tennessee. They're not afraid. They respect what they do, but they're not afraid of them. And there's no reason for Clemson to be afraid of Florida State. I can tell you that. Respect them, yes, but afraid? Oh, good grief, no. It wouldn't be out of the question if Clemson won the game by 2 or 3 touchdowns. But I just think it's going to be a closer game because, Florida State's going to bring their A game. They've lost 2 games in a row, and this season doesn't supposed to be what it's been for them. They started off with that LSU win, and probably thought that things were much better, and no. If you're a Clemson fan, or if you're a Clemson, if you're part of the Clemson coaching staff, you have to look at this game, and there's a lot of variables there, like Leary is not playing, but that Syracuse is still having a problem with NC State, and Leary's not playing. They're still having a problem with him. And obviously, a win is a win is a win. You want to take a win. You don't want a loss. I mean, duh. But the thing is you don't want to underestimate anyone. You want to come out and play your A game. But this should show you a lot about Syracuse. Got Jay in here. Third down pass coverage will be a big factor tonight. FSU does well behind the sticks. On third, it's going to give me heartburn. I'm not like, yeah, man. Tell me about it. I think in Bo Collins has been money since last year. Bo Collins has not fell off whatsoever. Let's just say this. Right now, if there was a last-minute decision to throw the ball up, whether it's for the win or to tie the ball game, and you ask me what receiver are we going to on Clemson's team, I immediately go to Bo Collins. Now, I know Davis Allen has incredible hands, and Antonio Williams as well. Ngata is wishy-washy, because one minute he'll go and he'll catch an outrageous pass, and then the next minute he'll drop one. You're like, dude, what's going on? And then EJ Williams, I expect him to transfer. He just does not seem like he's batting with much right now. And the reason I say that is because most guys who end up playing like he's playing right now, they just leave. They leave the program, for whatever that reason may be. But Collins right now, among all of, and I agree with you, he still needs to get better. He hasn't arrived, but he is the most sure-handed, talented wideout on our team. Consistent. But for sure, he still needs to grow. I tell you somebody I love to watch him catch. That's Antonio Williams. Look, he's in. Look at that. He is in. Oh, there's a flag. What's this? Okay, that's coming back. Yeah. Third and goal from about the 12-yard line. If you're Tennessee, you count it a major win. They just missed a field goal. What else? Delay of game. My God, they're falling apart. I say they're falling apart, and then they'll score a touchdown right here. Got a hold over here. We got flags everywhere. I got flags on both screens. Both holding. Now third down and goal from about the 17. Tennessee, take your Tennessee, don't leave a hole here and he scores a touchdown. You want to talk about a kick in the unmentionables. That would be bad. Look at that. Yeah, he's getting after him. Yeah, make that pop. Woo! Circus. Oh, my God. You have got to be kidding me. And they throw interference. He threw the ball up, man. He threw the ball up. That was a short Hail Mary, folks. The reason Heupel's mad is because I know this isn't 60 yards out. Yeah. Show that again. I want to say that again. Does this look like he's throwing it up? Yeah, he is. Their legs got tangled up. They'll score a touchdown here. They'll score a touchdown here. That's why when you're up 28-10, you have to put them away because they have guys like him on their team. You can't get to feeling good. You can't say, "Oh man, we're up by 18. Oh, we're up by 11. Well, man, we're up by. No, we're down now." He managed to kick straight. Yes, ma'am. You know exactly what's happening. Let's watch. They get tangled up. That's what happens. And he pulls him. He pulls the Tennessee player. What a butthead call. What a terrible call. That is a terrible call. Oh, man. This is a crazy ball game. Over here, because this game is like really, really important. This game, I mean, for the ACC, it's important. But it just lacks the wow factor. $41-0 Georgia. You talk about it. I think Dino Babers is a really solid coach to do what he's done at Syracuse, and it blows me away that when some of these other teams are hiring coaches, they really don't give him the respect I think he deserves. Was he over the line of scrimmage? As long as he has one part of his body behind the line of scrimmage, it's not a legal forward pass. That's what's interesting, is if you have at least one part of your body behind the line of scrimmage, it's not a legal forward pass. No, he Yeah, he was good. I'm sorry. Long day. Jay, you said you can't decide who you want to win this game. I want Syracuse to win it. Oh, hands down. Let me tell you why. First of all, I don't like NC State. Second of all, look, where was he when he threw it? Look, see, that one part, as long as they might get him. They might get him for a legal forward pass. Anyway, I'm going to finish what I was saying. You'll go ahead and knock NC State out of contention. NC State will be done. They'll be out of contention. Look at this, man. Wow. They'll be out of contention. You go ahead and get that over with. And then the next thing is if and when we win tonight, we should, and if and when we win next week, the conference is ours at that point. Now, do I want to see us lose games after that? No. But you can go ahead and say, all right, Clemson's punched their ticket to Charlotte. And it'll make next week a bigger game too. You know, it'll be like you said, Chase. It'll be a higher ranked game. Wow. 2nd and 6 over here. They're still reviewing. He's going up top. Out of bounds. Nice catch, but you're out of bounds by about 3.5 yards. I always like the guy who's out. You saw that in the stands. He's trying to get everybody to quiet down. He's normally always the loudest one in the stands. Who's so drunk he doesn't even know his name. Been screaming, and then when he sees other people do it, then he wants to take control and tell everybody to shut up. When all we really need is for him to shut up. This is pivotal. This is pivotal. I know that's the obvious, but pick. Boys and girls, I'm going to say this one more time. You cannot, I don't care if you're up by 20, which Tennessee basically was. You have to keep your foot on the pedal, and you have to beat them with a vengeance. Because if you don't, this happens. She's texting her sorority sisters. Hey girls, what are we going to do? I thought we were going to party tonight because they were supposed to win. What are we going to do? Oh, we're still going to party tonight? Okay. Obviously, sensitivity training has not worked on me. I saw something today that was really, really weird. That Auburn, like it's openly talked about that Auburn is going to look at this. Look at that. Put it away. Unless there's a flag comes up, he just put it away. That Auburn is going to be talking to Deion Sanders about taking over their football team. And Brian Harsin is still their coach. Yeah, I'll tell you who I don't blame for the state of Auburn football. It's Brian Harsin. Just hear me out. Did Brian Harsin hire himself at Auburn, or did Auburn's athletic department, board of trustees, all those people, did they seek him out and hire him? He just didn't. They didn't just walk through the coaching office one day and log on to the Auburn Tigers football site, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, did you see we got a new head coach? I mean, where'd this come from? Nobody said anything to us. This Harsin guy just left Boise, Idaho, comes here with a big old bag of potatoes, And he's still got blue on his shoes. He showed up here, and he's running things, man. We didn't have a say in it. No, they went and they sought this guy out, moved his family across, then tried to defame his name. And even if he is, listen to me, I believe in being faithful to your wife. That's whole, like a dove thing. But they literally tried to defame a guy that they hired because they didn't see what a bad hire it was. Deion Sanders is really good at being the face of a program in the sense of drawing people in. And I see that 100%. As long as he has a good DC and OC, oh man, he'll be amazing. But if he has just your average DC, average OC, I can just go ahead and tell you that's he's a really good recruiter. You're right, Chase. I mean, who wouldn't want to go play for him? Hey, I want to go play for primetime. I mean, I remember when he was playing football for the Falcons and playing baseball for the Braves at the same time. I remember it. I'm that old. With that said, that does not mean that in the long run he'd be a good coach. Look at that. Drilled him. Okay, drilled him. Good play. Now, do we have a flag coming up here? I don't see a flag. I was expecting a flag to bail him out because he gets tattooed. Look at that. Look at that stunt. Come straight in. Boom. That was clean. And I'm going to tell you this. If that becomes roughing the passer, and don't be shocked when it does, folks. I don't agree with Stephen A. on a lot of things. In fact, I really don't listen to Stephen A., but somebody that I have respect for told me that he made a comment that with these quarterbacks, the next thing is they're going to put flags on them. And yeah, that's right. They'll put flags on them. And it'll be sad. It'll be a sad day for football. I don't believe in cheap shots. I understand of trying to protect I'm tired of having to. I'm tired of feeling like I have to give all of these like prefaces. I'm just going to say it. When you walk out on this field and all these guys are lifting weights all the time, they get down here and they're hitting. They're big. They're massive. They're fast. They're strong. Somebody's going to get hurt, folks. You know that when you have to have a helmet to play the game. You may not, this game is so rough, I have to wear a helmet. Why would that be, Don? Why would I need shoulder pads? Why would I need a cup? Well, that's so if you get hit in the crotch, you're basically not neutered for the rest of your life. This is tough. This is tough. Stop feminizing the game. I agree with Troy Aikman. Take the dresses off. Take the dresses off. You can't do that. It's ridiculous. Yeah, you're right, Jay. It's a collision sport. It's not a contact sport. Basketball is a contact sport. You know, they touch each other. It's not a foul to touch each other. I was talking about officiating earlier. It's not a foul to touch each other. But this right here, this is. I mean, look at those guys. They're fighting. Look, he's bear hugging. That's a hold. If there's ever been a hold, he literally hugged the guy. And I know you call holding on every play. I mean, these guys are tearing it up. This game is not for the faint of heart. A lot of those coaches on the sideline, even if they played at some level, couldn't come out and play at this level because it would be too aggressive for them. you're going to feel that hit right there. Even a quarterback throwing the ball hard. I mean, throwing the ball hard hurts. I mean, when you catch it, if you kind of awkwardly catch the football, that hurts. I mean, are they going to start throwing flags on that? And they'll pay the guys the suits and the ties, you know, to you got to understand, John, that we're beginning to see more players once they're out of their career have carpal tunnel syndrome, and it's just time to get it out of the game. It's like, yeah, concussions and stuff like that is. I mean, we need to work on that, but do what we can. But one of my favorite comedians, he's, God rest his soul, he passed away in 2014, is Tim Wilson. If you've never listened, Tim's not for everybody. There's some stuff he gets a little too raunchy on, or he'll get raunchy on, and I just don't really appreciate that. But there's a lot of stuff, you know, he'll say a few bad words here and there, but overall it's pretty doggone funny stuff. But in one of his stand-up routines, he was joking about how every time somebody gets killed, we got to pass a law to stop it. And that's how I feel about officiating. And really, the people who makes the rules, they just make these guys go out there and enforce it. And it's like, we're getting knees blown out. It's like, yeah. When guys like that are out there running and cutting hard and he's getting tackled play after play after play, there's a chance, God forbid, somebody's going to get really hurt. And the stuff that is dirty, you want to get out of the game, like trying to use the crown of your helmet to actually punish somebody. That was spearing. Spearing was, I mean, many years, but man, I like to see them moving the ball here. Just go down and do your thing. Just go down and do your flipping thing. Don't. Tennessee has this game if they want it. Yes, sir. Look at that. Oh, my God. You know who that reminds me of? It reminds me of Justin Ross the last time we won the national championship. I bet that place is rocking. Man, you can't even think about it. Look at 78-yard touchdown. Now, those sorority girls are calling, hey, I thought Bama was going to win. What are we going to do if Bama doesn't win? I'm not going to say them. I'm going to say someone else. But I love it. And does anybody on here, I know that there's some people watching, but who remembers when Notre Dame and Alabama, he just got tanked. Holy crap, he got tanked. He had his head ripped off. Oh, yeah. Now you got to go you got to go for two. What's going on right here? Oh, I see. Yeah, I see now. Yeah. Yep. That's good. Sorry. I was watching this over here. So question for y'all. Who remembers when Alabama beat Notre Dame in the national championship in 2012? You remember that's when Brent Musburger, everybody lost it because what he said about A.J. McCarron's girlfriend. Does everybody remember that? You remember how people got really upset about what he said? Now, I'm going to stop here and tell you. I'm going to just stop here and tell you something. Do we need to go oogling and goggling after women, especially if you're a married man? No. Stop that crap. But what Brent Musburger said on that, and I know there's some people who's going to watch this and you're going to go, well, you just have to understand it's in poor taste. No, what he said was real. Half those. Have you seen a lot of these football players with the girlfriends that they're with? And these guys look like a foot in the face. I saw one guy, he didn't even look, he looked like he had, been to war. And what Brent Musburger was telling was the truth. It was the truth. It was out loud. This is what you get if you're play quarterback at Alabama. He shouldn't have said that. My question is, was he wrong? Well, he shouldn't have said that. No, what he said was right. Little kid sitting at home, he goes, hold on, AJ McCarron gets to date that woman? He gets to hang out with her? I very well doubt if he was an accounting major. If he was an accounting major, had no football contract or anything like that. Okay. He was down at the local college. She would have told him to get lost quicker than you can tell a panhandler out on the streets of Atlanta to get away from you. She would have broke land speed records of telling him to get lost. It's just every time I'm watching football games and I see just mounds of women, you can tell they came dressed up to sit out in the heat or the freezing cold. You know that they're just trying. But let me tell you this. This is crazy. My dad's going to kill me for telling you this. My dad drove for a very well-known charter company and for many years. And he drove for, the Yankees, Cowboys, of course, Clemson, Florida State, back when Florida State was somebody. He can tell you some terrible stuff about Jimbo Fisher and Urban Meyer. He's going to kill me for telling you this. But for those of you who are watching right now, you're getting here something, and I very well doubt anybody's going to go back and watch this live stream 1 hour and 42 minutes in. But I'm going to tell this, so go ahead and buckle up. This is the truth. But he told me when he would drive NFL teams that mothers would bring their daughters dressed in next to nothing to stay outside of the hotels for these players to walk through and hopefully catch their eye. Because if they catch their eye, all they have to do is, this is going to be terrible, but it's the truth. If they can just get alimony out of it, and I'll leave it at that. But that was common practice. And if they were a big football team, even in college, they would do the same thing. So when I see those amounts, that always triggers me to say stuff like that, because when I see them like piled up like that, I don't see just, I know not everybody's like this, but I just don't see, oh, this is some innocent girl who's dressed up really nice to come to the Tennessee football game. No, they're trying to catch somebody's eye. Oh my God. It's funny. Oh, it's doing power save mode. I don't know why. It's weird. Why is it going into standby mode? Maybe this is my cue to get off air. Well, y'all, I know the game is not over, but I'm going to have to go. Chase, I might go live some during the game. I don't know if I'm going to do it the whole time. I might go live some. But for anybody who has been watching this, I do appreciate it. I know that the stream is not that good. This camera on this laptop is not that great. But because of my subscribers, and let me give a shout out to Parker Henderson. Parker Henderson has been pushing my new channel to other people and to other, telling other fans about it. And Parker, dude, thank you so much you've always supported the channel, dude, and I appreciate it. And thanks for, telling other people about the new channel. But I did figure out a way that I can live stream from the laptop. I normally live stream from my phone, but I can't do that because I don't have as many subscribers. But I did figure this out. I don't know if I'll be going live during the Clemson game as much. I might do it some, but do pass along to anybody. If you have any questions or anything, or you have any suggestions for the channel, please let me know. I have locked down a really big guest for the show. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go live stream soon, but Parker, it's the same one that you and I were talking about the other day. He's agreed to come on the show when I'm ready. So I'm just trying to make sure that everything gets set up on my side. And what was so funny was I reached out to him and was like, hey, just think about it. And he's like, oh, absolutely, I'll do it. So I have one of the biggest names in YouTube college football who's agreed to come on the show. They're one of the experts in college football, especially on YouTube. So it was kind of one of those phone a friend things, and he was kind enough to took pity on me and said yes. So anyway, well, listen, everybody, I'm going to go. Really don't know what's going on here, but I probably just need to restart it. I've never watched football on my work computer, but they don't care. It's on the off weekend, but hopefully Bama will be held at bay and Tennessee can pull this off, because it's good to see Tennessee back. It's good to see some of those teams. Timmy Blackwell, it's good to see you in here, buddy. I'll give you one Bobby Durkins May there. Ah, Kenny. Lord, you came wandering in here like I owed you money. Okay. I'll go now. Y'all be good. You take care of yourself. Go Tigers.